Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Oh, first, hi, welcome. Grab a snack, something to sip on while I spill my tea. And yeah, this is another dating nightmare one, but it's after I watched this one video, which I put the video in in here, but I noticed there's another video that I want to do, but it might just end up being the screenshot because I think they took the video down. And so either I'm going to have to look it up or try to find another one because it's basically a video of a woman walking out of Walmart, I believe, or Meyer, and a white woman's following her, and there's even her boyfriend's or husband or whatever truck, because this white woman is accusing the black woman of stealing, and even got uh like the employees of the store to follow her out. And the black woman's like, is it because I'm black? And the white one's like, why do you think it's because you're black? You brought race in. You look like you stole it. And it's like, how does she look like she stole it? And she literally has her boyfriend, husband, whatever truck, like waiting, like they're in the driving area of like the parking lot, and they're literally their vehicle's just right there in the middle, waiting for this woman to, like, while she's putting her stuff in the vehicle. And it's like, and oh, she even gives the man her glasses. And he was like, "Why are you giving me your glasses?" "Well, in case she hits me." Like, and the black woman's like, "I'm not gonna touch you." It's like, I don't know. It's like sometimes when people say or ask, why are black women so cautious about white women? That video is a perfect example. And so I'm going to investigate to see if I can either find another version, or I might just have to have the screenshot and describe it or whatever. But I watched it a few times because I have been in this situation where I'm shopping, and I've had a lady come up to me. "How can you afford this? How can you get this?" And I remember what she sounded like and everything. I will not forget that time. It's happened kind of a few times or whatever, but and I know over the years and stuff, I kept downgrading what I wore. One reason is because where I worked at a school in the inner city where students would threaten to throw bleach on me and slash my tires, cut up my clothing, or just like and one of them did put a really long marker, like, stain on my outfit. I was able to get it out over time. I literally had to look up different techniques to get the stain out, because after trying to put it in the wash like 4 times, but anyway, it's like a lot of people started looking down on me because of me downgrading my clothes. But I wrote these students up, and the person, Miss Know It All, but she knew nothing. She was an ignorant, absolute, awful nightmare. Black woman, too. Black woman, too. But yeah, it's like she tore up the write ups, and like she laughed at the threats, even though students were doing some of the most awful, terrible things that you can imagine, things that could like, but anyway, it's just, yeah, I'm going to be talking about that video. So, and other political, like, oh, I'm going to be talking about that one with the affair. Like, because, oh my gosh, so much tea. Like, I can't even believe that. Like, I mean, I could believe it, but, and I think this is one reason why guys, like, some of you guys are just so stupid. Because when I talked about the T app, and I was talking about some of the guys from Dearborn and everything, and how, I mean, men from all over who are married or are dating are looking up women. But it's like, I did this episode talking about the T app, and also the man's version that they kicked off within 24 hours because they don't know how to be mature human beings or decent and know how to treat women like humans. But it's like, I don't know. I've lost count of how many men that I've caught who were dating somebody, or they were married, or quote unquote separated, but still taking their separated wife out to dinner and or to dancing and different things. Like, it just, yeah. But then when I would block them and stuff like that, they would get mad at me or turn around and do something at me, or just say that it's like, don't you want to have fun? Or it's like, don't you want to go out? Or especially if they had money or they were rich or whatever. And it's just like, okay, you really got me mistaken for somebody else. Why don't you go find a sugar baby? And you know what? It's like, part of me would like, it's like, especially after my dating life, part of me is like, you know what? Maybe I should have been a sugar baby, because men with my life, waste of time. I'm not compatible with majority of men. I've learned that I am never going to marry. I have learned, like, and some people, I've had so many people say, "Don't say that. You better not say that. Oh, you're such a great woman." It's like, yeah, no, I'm great enough to realize that I do not want to sacrifice my happiness. And so now I'm going to get to this video, because I watched majority of it. Like, I had to watch it in fragments because I've been working on the novel, working on the next stages for the greeting cards and everything like that. But who, these men don't understand why women don't want anything to do with them. And it's crazy because one mistake that a lot of them are making is going into the manosphere. They're going to men's blogs or red pill, or like the it's like the bro code, or the, I forgot what like the passport, or passport bros and stuff like that or whatever. And it's just like, okay, instead, why don't you sit down with women, or why don't you go and talk to your exes and maybe figure out some, like, because remember, women aren't perfect either. So maybe you can actually even learn something about yourself, and maybe you can mention what you think went wrong with the relationship when it came to her as well. But no, men don't want to let men always want to put the blame all on the woman. And or if the woman says she's not interested, the guy gets so mad because they're like, well, first, of course you're single. Or if some of them, I've like, some of the guys have the nerves like, oh, she says she's married, she says she's coupled or whatever. Okay, well, then respect her, or respect the dude she's with. I mean, one or the other, or I hope both. But for some, but it's just crazy how many men out here. It's like, they want to put down women, or they want to tell women what we're supposed to be or who we're supposed to be. But then when we're not that and we don't want to do that, they get irritated. It's like, okay, because, okay, I know that I've already told you guys the stories, or at least majority of the stories, about when men have told me, either you're going to date me or go after your goals. Because sometimes it's, actually, I haven't even told half those stories in total, but I have told majority of the ones where men have told me it's either me or your education. Because when my with my first and second masters, I kept running into men, especially black men, who told me they did not want a smart woman, and that I was being really stupid for going to school and getting an education, because men were not going to find anything of value of me, and that I was making a stupid choice when all I had to do was make babies. This is coming from the black men. And oh, throughout this one, I'm going to have screenshots from men and some of the terrible, awful things. Because, yeah, remember, I've been showing screenshots and set like so many episodes. I have more, so many more to download and upload and everything like that. But, and remember, they're on Patreon. They're going to be on Patreon too. I think around 100 of them are on Patreon right now. But I'm going to be working on it. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. But a lot of men have the nerve to tell women that it's bad, like, if we're single for too long, But a lot of men don't realize we're learning about them and ourselves, because and we're also learning what makes us happy. How are we going to be happy? What do we want with our lives? Because we don't want our lives just to be about the man. And I think that's one reason why a lot of men want to go back to the quote unquote good old days with, you know, the manosphere being like, okay, I'm going to work, I'm going out, you're going to stay home, you're going to do the laundry, you're going to do everything I don't want to do. And oh, this reminds me, there's this one video that's kind of popular. There's this white guy in his car or truck, whatever, and he's talking about how he needs a woman soon because he had to go to the bank because they wouldn't either deposit or he couldn't do like a transaction or whatever. And he's like, that's for her to do. And she's supposed to make the like the lunches. Like he was listing like everything he didn't want to do and said that was her job to do and that she needs to stay home. And so he could focus on the job. Okay, a lot of you men fail to realize that. Well, first, you need to look at the timeline and your history to know how housewives developed because it didn't develop the way that you think. And a lot of the power structure, like men want that because of power, because especially like, but then they forget like all of this is going to end with ABUSC, but the physical, the mental, and the financial ABUSC is like women have to be cautious of that at all times. And I think that's one reason why I am more determined with my business ideas and why I'm working very hard on them is because like I'm trying to create several different streams of income so I always have a backup. And at least I will always try to have money coming in from somewhere. And that's one reason why a lot of men don't like me. A lot of men are not attracted to me. But at the same time, they need to borrow gas money or they need to borrow money from me. Or they say they're going to borrow, but the next thing I know, they tell me that they're either not going to pay me back or they're only going to pay me back if I come over to their house and do something with them. Yeah. Remember Mr. Lock a Key, but there's a few other guys who've tried that too. But then when I told them, I was like, oh, okay, then I'm straight. Like, I'm not going to. And then they get mad. Oh, so you don't want your money back? It's like all you gotta do is, and I'm like, no, I don't want to throw up. I don't want to be disgusted. I don't want to vomit. Like, no. It's like, that's, no, I'm good. It's like that. And I don't, it's like, I think it's like I've learned a lot about my finance or, my finances, but also the financial ABUSC. And that's one reason why, especially with Mr. No Heart, when I was like after someone stole my credit and then like trying to start paying off student loans and trying to just finish off paying whatever debts that I had. And it's like I was so happy when I did that. Part of me was like, okay, it's time to save for a house. It's time to invest my money so I can create a future for myself. All he did was laugh at me, mock me, tease me until it was time to, or he would hear something about computers. And then he would tell me, put money on this one. Excuse me? Excuse me. Whose money is this? This is my money. So, okay, you're not going to tell me. And the funny thing is, I already put money in that 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I made more money off that than he would have. But it was just funny how he's trying to tell me how to, put my money when he was laughing at me, mocking me, and telling me that I was wasting my time and stuff. But then at the same time, he almost every week or every other week would have his hand out for gas money, for money, and then gaslight me and tell me, you don't want me to be a deadbeat dad, right? You want me to be able to take care of my daughters, right? You want me to be able to pay my rent, right? Because if I don't have gas in the car, I can't go to work. And if I can't go to work, that's going to mess up everything in my future. That's the kind of stuff he would try to tell me. So one thing I've learned, yeah, financially, don't help these men out. They'll figure it out. because with my 7 year relationship with Mr. No Heart, the one or two times, 'cause I think there might have been a second time, I just don't remember, that I remember when someone hit my car and I had to pay for that and everything else. And I was like, okay, can I borrow $20? Because I was like, I remember the week before he asked for, I think 20 or 40. Yeah, it's like, but I think he might have asked for, like, I don't know, it doesn't matter. But I was just like, I really need like $20 because doing I was working all of my jobs, but I wasn't going to be getting my paychecks until a week or two later. And he told me that, oh, you'll figure it out. He was like, you're so creative, you'll figure it out. Oh, I think this might have been because something crazy happened, like financially with him. Okay, well, I don't think it was $60, or I don't think it was over the $40 thing. I think this is after he begged me to start a business. Yeah, because he begged me to start a business, and then I had to pay for everything. He told me, "Oh, I don't have good credit. You need to pay for it, but don't worry. Every month we're gonna put money on it and pay interest to pay the interest and a little bit more, whatever." And I was so stupid. I trusted this man, but then 6 months later, oh no, never mind. We're not gonna do the business. But all of the equipment is at his house. So he did that on purpose on me because he knew that I was working on paying my debts. He knew I was trying to pay off student loans and everything else. But then he trapped me into being 25 to $3,000 more in debt. Like, so yeah, that's why financially I've learned over time, over the years that I've been single. I was like, I've been getting myself together and I've been working on my businesses, my novels. And so you guys see my children's books and activity books that I have at the end of each episode. Those are up on, like, well, I'm working on getting them off of Amazon and putting them on other websites and everything like that. But that costs money, and disability life is expensive and frustrating, and I'm still trying to figure it out because I'm newly diagnosed because the doctors were too stupid, lazy, ignorant, bigoted, racist, awful, terrible human beings. So yeah, yeah. So anyway, one piece of advice I have for you. I'm going to have other episodes on different options for investing, but at least invest $5 a week. It's like, especially if you're 18 or 19 years old, invest $5 a week. Let that money grow. And some people are like, oh, $5 is nothing. It may not look at like nothing the first couple years, but especially if it once it grows, and like I said, every week. So it's like the first 2 years, it's gonna double up and everything. But then after that, it's like you're gonna see like a bigger chunk of extra every single year. The interest is gonna be better. It's like, and that base is gonna grow, which allows more interest and stuff. So I'm gonna talk about that in another episode. But like with a lot of these men, they want you broke because they want that power. They want to be able to tell you what to do. They want to be able to. It's like, and some of these men are like, "Oh, I'll work and you stay home." But then, if you want your nails done, it's like they might have a rule like, "Oh, you have to have laundry every day. You have to have a home cooked meal every day." It's like, "Oh, this isn't good enough. That's not good enough. No, I'm not giving you money for this." Oh, it's like, I'm going to go out with my friends, and if she wants to go out with her friends, it's like she may have to ask especially like I know some couples, because I remember my ex, not Mr. No Heart, but there was one guy I started dating, but I saw the red flags immediately. Within 2 weeks, I was like, I'm out, because he told me, he was like, oh yeah, once we're together, you're selling that car. He was like, we're gonna be in one house and one car. And I remember I was like, why? And he was like, because when I'm at work, I want to make sure you're not going anywhere. Excuse me. Excuse me. And so some men also try to use that as a trap. So if a guy either tries to use your car or use it up, or they want to sell it, don't. Because he may be trying to trap you in that house. Okay. He's trying to make sure you can't go anywhere. But then he can go anywhere. Hmm. And so, and yes, like I'm probably I can do so many parts within this video, but I've learned so much over the years. And some men are mad that women are learning more about themselves and men. A lot of us are going back and remembering how awful men have treated us. That's why we are single. We are single because we keep catching men being no good to us. We keep finding men who just want to use us, and or they tell us they want us to be feminine, but they want us to be their definition of feminine. Okay, I'm a woman, so it's like, hey, I'm feminine, like whatever. It's like, and there are times where I am like the biggest girly girl, but I mean, it's like when I was a little younger, I used to love to sit in front of the screen and watch a football game. Sometimes soccer, but it's like, oh, and I love tennis. But I remember there was one guy that I went out with. He was just like, oh, tennis is dumb. Tennis is the stupidest game. And I'm just like, okay, why? He's like, oh, I don't understand it. It's so stupid. Okay, so maybe it's because you don't understand it. Maybe it's because you need to learn about it. So then it's like, I just thought that was so stupid. But anyway, because I even offered to, like, I mean, I don't know everything about the sport, but I played it back in, grade school or whatever. And I played a little bit after whatever too, but I don't know. It just, whew, it's, it's allowing me to know more about red flags with men though. Because especially if a man tries to limit you or they tell you what they want you to act like, be like, and things like that, what they want you to be able to do. Because another red flag is with my businesses, like I've mentioned. I like Tomas left me because I showed him my third, I think it was my third, but it might have been my second children's book that I published. And I'm going to be publishing more children's books soon. I've been trying to get the novel and the greeting cards out, but I have like 5 or 6 children's books that are, yeah, they should be out by now, but they're not. But anyway. Oh, and I'm going to publish them off of, like, not on Amazon, but other things. And that cost the package that I found on the site. Yeah. So, and with disability life, yeah, it's entertaining. It's entertaining. But I say all of that because I can't talk about this with a lot of men. Because even other than Tomas, there have been other men. There was a guy named David. Oh, yeah, it's like the day. I remember. I think I blocked him right around Halloween. Yeah, I'll never forget when I blocked him because okay, he showed me some real good red flags because he was starting his own businesses too. He was hustling or whatever. But when I was like, oh yeah, it's like I'm working on my projects too, and he was like, oh, uh huh, oh yeah, yeah, uh huh. It's like, well, if you're gonna write a book, you need to write about this. And I was like, oh well, you maybe you should write that book then. No, you're gonna write it. Oh, and then even when it came to intimacy, he told me he doesn't kiss, and I'm gonna have to get used to that, and that foreplay is stupid, and so there's no, like, he wasn't going to at least talk to me about it. He just told me that I had to deal with that and that I had to know that it was pointless or dumb or whatever. And I've kind of, like, on and off, I've known this guy for like 4 years. Because I remember, I think I've told parts of the story, but I met him during COVID. We matched on, I think, yeah, plenty. No, no, Facebook dating, and we talked and everything like that. And it's like I remember. I mean, I think this is right after Ben that I matched with him, and we were talking and everything, and I was just talking about I can't believe how this one guy literally, like, We haven't even been talking or whatever for 2 months or whatever, and he wanted nothing to do with me because I have not slept with him. It was like to him that's forever. Even but yeah, I've already told that story, so you can look that one up. But I remember how David, he was doing his business or whatever, and he invited me to go with him, and I'm like, no, I'm good. And he was like, oh, I'll buy you a dress. No, because like we were only texting. Like I think we were on the phone one time, but offered to buy me a dress, whatever. But anyways, like we it, we cooled down the conversation over time. I forgot why, but then I remember he called me another time, and he was talking about his businesses. He was going back to school, getting some kind of degree or whatever. And I was like, I thought that was so cool, but I don't. He was very bossy and demanding, but yeah, it's like a lot of men have taught me what I'm not going to tolerate. And a lot of men trying to tell me what I am supposed to do, especially like I'm cheering him on for his businesses and even asking, oh, do you have this license? Are you going to get this to make sure everything's legal? And he laughs at me. He was like, oh, no, I'm in the hood. We don't care. And it's like, oh, all right. Never, yeah. So then it's like I kind of stop, asking about his businesses because it's like, okay, if you're not going to do this legally or if you're just going to do it with half effort, I don't really want to hear, like, no, I'm not interested whatsoever. So, and I mean, I have so many more examples, but it's like, especially with, like, I created my list of dating standards that are on Scout and Meet Me because, like, the Republican men, haha, yeah, never, haha, never. And then a lot of the men who hated my education usually had high school level education or lower. And like, so I put, you have to at least have, a college degree, a trade, or, like something about like after high school or whatever, because most men who didn't, like some called me white girl wannabe or bougie or stuck up, or it's like, oh, some, since I had it, well, some before my diagnosis would say, so you're stupid in the legs but you're smart in the brain. He was like, okay. And it's like, so men would keep mocking me, teasing me, putting me down in order to date me. Because sometimes where I'm like, oh, I don't think we're a match. And they're like, oh, I'll get your stupid legs over here. And it's like, yeah, your legs are so stupid. They can't even walk right. They can't even move right. And so it's like over time, because I kept noticing different patterns within different demographics, especially studying marketing and advertising and paying attention to the demographics. I started learning, okay, like, and like what to watch out for. And then when it comes to being vaccinated, I know not all unvaccinated guys are awful, but when on more than one occasion, different guys would say I'm nothing but an N word since I'm vaccinated, or stupid or slow. Like I said, not all, but it's like when I keep getting put down, or men saying that I'm going to end up with a heart attack or I'm going to die and all this other stuff, it's exhausting. But yeah, I'm going to probably do a part two on this one because, yeah, men are actually blaming women for staying single, but we're staying single for our mental and physical health. When we're trying to be able to love ourselves and acknowledge ourselves and our beauty and our understanding of ourselves. Thank you so much for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handy capable. But most importantly, I am human and you're human too.